Welcome back to Fight News Now. It's John Pollock with you, and now it's time to turn it over to John Ramdeen and Robin Black for another installment of 3 rounds. And for people that don't want to spend $60 on pay-per-view this weekend but want to get their fight fix, you guys do have the answer of what to check out.
That is correct, Mr. Pollock. Friday live right here on FN 1FC, featuring some of the most talented fighters in all of mixed martial arts. The main event, the lightweight title will be on the line. WEC veteran Kamal Shalarus looking to defeat one of the best submission fighters in the game in Shinya Aoki. And every time Shinya Aoki fights, I think the MMA world wants to tune in. Why is that?
23 submissions and some pretty wonky ones too, twisting things up, bending things over and breaking
Hirota's arm, man.
This guy's the real thing. He'll do it from mount, he'll submit you from all kinds of angles. He's kind of a ferocious little odd character too. He's a cop and he's angry, you know. He's a very, very fun fight to watch. To be honest, I am not a UFC trash talker ever. I'm thankful that this thing gives me the opportunity to see fights all over the world in real time in this giant global experiment that is fighting. But I'd way rather see this on the main card of the pay-per-view. I really would.
Exactly.
Kamal Shalarus got cut from the UFC. Who did he lose to? Dos Anjos, who just knocked out Ben Henderson, and Jim Miller, who is a killer, and he had a great fight with Jim Miller, and Khabib the Eagle. Those were the dude's 3 fights, and he got cut.
And I think we went to a draw against Jamie Varner, and we all know how talented and how durable Jamie Varner is.
Yeah, and I mean, he's from Iran, and Iran, in the world of combat sports, is like a master of wrestling, powerful, explosive wrestling.
The Iron Sheik.
Yeah, there you have it. And fantastic wrestling, and he's gritty and hard-nosed, and he likes to fight. Put him up against Shinya Aoki on Fight Network for free. Good times. Also
on the card, Ben Askren, arguably the best 170-pound fighter in the world, not fighting in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, taking on Nobutatsu Suzuki. 10 knockouts on his resume. He's taken out Brock Larson, who fought for the WEC welterweight title, as well as Phil Baroni. So when you have knockouts over those guys, you can knock out anybody at 170 pounds. I have a feeling Ben Askren is going to waste little time and try to put this fight on the canvas ASAP.
Yeah, you got 10 to 30 seconds to try to knock him out with the big shot before you lay it on your back. If you can survive round 1, and his only loss is a submission, you got 10 to 30 seconds in round 2 to do it again. So these are exciting fights because there's a certain amount of electric drama in the beginning. I like watching Ben Askren fight. I think the way this guy fights is magical. It's powerful, it's dominant, he's cocky. He kind of has got a haircut of a giant baby. He's just a very interesting character. And he's an absolute winner. I want to see him fight the best guys in the world. Can you knock him out before he gets you down or not? That's the question.
Koji Oshii on the card, James McSweeney on the card, and Roger Huerta also on the card. I think the last time we saw Roger Huerta in 1FC, he was taking a kick to the head on the ground.
Yeah, he's had a rough few years. So, I mean, I think there were Gray Maynard and Kenny Florian were his last couple of UFC decision losses. Went to Bellator. I think he had Alvarez and the 145 champion, Pat Curran, you know. I think he even had to get in there with War Machine. There's something wrong with War Machine. So, you know, he had a tough go. But I've had friends. Lenny Wheeler is a fantastic fighter from the East Coast of Canada. He's been there, spent a lot of time. Says Huerta's never looked better. Powerful, explosive, crazy wrestling, in better shape than he's ever been in. It's a perfect opportunity to Huerta to get back. Did he lose 6 of his last 7? I think he did. Go out there, make a big statement. He's still young, still good looking, still physically outstanding. Go in there to represent Tiger Muay Thai and get himself a knockout.
You brought up Pat Curran. Pat Curran going to be rematching Patricio Pitbull Freite on September 4th or 5th, whatever the Friday was. It's Scott Coker's first real show for the Bellator organization. Czech Congo taking on LeVar Johnson. Where did LeVar Johnson fight before? All right, he fought for Strikeforce.
Czech Congo looked like a Strikeforce fighter.
Exactly.
Exciting, dominant.
Bobby Lashley on the card, King Mo on the card. All Strikeforce fighters. And you see the direction of the Bellator organization. And I can say I like it. I mean, we've seen, if you're a fan of mixed martial arts and entertaining MMA, not these fighters that just hold guys down on the ground, Scott Coker does a great job of matching fights so that the fans, when they leave the venue, they say, wow, that was an outstanding show, and I think we're going to get to see this. Tandem McCrory making his return, taking on Brennan Ward, who is, in my opinion, a future superstar.
Yeah, we recently had Uriah Faber on. He said you can either win and be dominant and always win, or you can be exciting. In a perfect world, you do both. But if you cannot do both, Bellator might be a great place for you to put on big, exciting shows.
And John, what's interesting is that Tandem McCrory last fought in the UFC in 2009. Actually in mixed martial arts. He hasn't competed since his days in the UFC, now 27 years of age. I would love to see what new tools he's bringing to the game of MMA.
Lots of stuff to watch outside of the UFC coming up over the next 2 weeks. And thank you guys very much for a fallout of all of the fights that are coming up this weekend. Tune into 5 Rounds Monday night at 7 Eastern with Ramdean and Robin. On the other side, we are back as comic writer Scott Snyder joins the shift. And we'll wrap up this week's show with another viral video as Fight News Now continues.
All right, let's get it on.